My stepdaughter threw a dinner plate at my son's head and screamed, "I'm on my period," as an excuse. When I asked my girlfriend to discipline her, she sighed and said, "It's a woman thing. I don't expect you to understand." I stayed silent. That was 7 months ago. Yesterday, her daughter was arrested for assaulting another one. Prat 4. I thanked her and said we were handling it, but inside I was panicking. This was affecting Derek at school now. His safe place was being invaded by his fears. I picked him up early and we went for ice cream again. The shop was busy with after-school kids, but Derek was subdued. He told me Francine had been texting him mean things. I asked to see his tablet. The messages were awful. She called him a crybaby and said her mom loved her more than me. She said when we came back, she'd make his life miserable. One message just said, "I know where you sleep," with a skull emoji. I screenshotted everything, my hands shaking with anger. That night I called my girlfriend and told her about the messages. She said kids say mean things sometimes and I needed to stop babying Derek. I told her this was harassment and it needed to stop. She said I was being dramatic again. That word, dramatic, had become her favorite weapon lately. I said if she couldn't see the problem, then we had bigger issues. She accused me of threatening her. I told her I was stating facts. Thursday morning I got approved for the apartment. The email came while I was making Derek breakfast. I felt relief and sadness at the same time. I loved my girlfriend, but I couldn't let Derek suffer. I decided to tell her in person. I dropped Derek at school and went to the house. My girlfriend was working from home. She had her laptop set up at the dining room table. Papers spread everywhere. I told her about the apartment. She started crying and saying I was abandoning her. I told her I wasn't abandoning anyone, but I needed to protect my son. She said Francine was just a child too and needed understanding. I agreed, but said understanding didn't mean accepting abuse. She threw a coffee mug at the wall. It shattered, leaving a brown stain on the white paint. I left. When I picked Derek up from school, he seemed happy. He'd had a good day and his teacher said he was doing better. He showed me a drawing he'd made of a dinosaur fighting a robot. I decided to tell him about the apartment. His face lit up when I said we'd have our own place. He asked if we could paint his room blue. I said absolutely. He asked if we could get a fish. I said we'd see. That night my girlfriend called 20 times. I finally answered on the 21st call. She was sobbing and said Francine had admitted to sending those texts. She said she'd take away her phone and ground her. I told her that was good, but it didn't fix the bigger problem. She begged me to come home. I said we needed more time. Friday was moving day. I'd hired movers to get our stuff while Derek was at school. The morning was gray and drizzly, fitting for the occasion. My girlfriend stayed in her room crying while I supervised. I could hear her sobs through the door. Francine came out at one point and watched. She had this smug look on her face. She was eating cereal, crunching loudly, making a show of how unaffected she was. As the movers took Derek's bed, she said her mom would never forgive me. I ignored her and kept packing. When everything was loaded, I left my key on the counter. The metal made a final clink against the granite. My girlfriend came out and made one last plea. She promised things would change. She said she'd make Francine apologize and go to therapy. Her eyes were red and puffy, her voice hoarse from crying. I told her it was too late for promises. Derek needed stability and safety now. She called me heartless. I left without another word, the door closing with a soft click that felt louder than any slam. Derek loved the new apartment. It was smaller than the house, but it was ours. The walls were white and clean, ready for new memories. We spent the weekend setting up his room and building more Legos. He slept through the night for the first time in weeks. No nightmares, no creeping into my bed, just peaceful sleep in his new blue room. My girlfriend kept texting, asking to talk. I finally agreed to meet her Monday after work. We met at a neutral location, a park near downtown. She looked terrible, like she hadn't slept. Her usually perfect hair was pulled back in a messy bun. She said Francine was acting out worse since we left. She was refusing to go to school and breaking things. She blamed me for abandoning them. I reminded her that I'd tried everything to make it work. She said if I loved her, I'd come back. I told her love wasn't enough when a child was being hurt. She left crying, her shoulders shaking as she walked to her car. That week was peaceful. Derek was doing better in school and seemed like his old self again. He laughed more, talked more about his day. Then Friday I got a call from my girlfriend. She was hysterical. Francine had run away. She begged me to help look for her. Against my better judgment I agreed. I dropped Derek at my mom's and went to help search. We drove through neighborhoods calling Francine's name. We found Francine at a friend's house 3 hours later. She was sitting on the porch, looking bored. She said she ran away because her mom was being mean since I left. My girlfriend broke down completely. On the drive back, Francine kept making comments about how this was all my fault. Mom was happy before you came along, she said. Now look at her. I didn't respond, but I recorded it on my phone, just in case. When we got to their house, my girlfriend asked me to stay and talk to Francine. I said no. I told her Francine needed professional help and I wasn't qualified. She accused me of not caring. I reminded her that I'd suggested therapy weeks ago. I left and picked up Derek. He asked if Francine was okay. I said she was home safe. He then asked if we were ever going back. I told him no, we had our own home now. He smiled and hugged me. Good? He whispered into my shoulder. The next week, My girlfriend started calling Derek directly. She'd cry and tell him she missed him. He'd get upset after every call, his mood shifting from happy to anxious in seconds. I told her she needed to stop manipulating him.